Hey girls, hey. Hey boys, hey. This is Mama Beauties here coming with you with an unplanned live, you guys. There are a lot of questions I want to address on my Insomniac video. I did not go to bed till like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I stayed up all night listening to this 3-hour interview for you guys and summed it up for you. And a lot of people did not keep an open mind. People, I noticed that, let me just wait for some people to jump on because I want to address this. Basically, I have noticed that in these communities, when people do not agree with your theories or your scenario, they get mad and want to leave. I have mad respect for Armchair Detective, you guys. Mad respect. Does that mean that I have a personal relationship with him, or I want to get to know him, or I think he's cool, or any of that? None of that matters. I want you guys to understand that you have to keep an open mind. Yes, there's a 50% chance that those shadows are real. I will give him that, and I will give him mad respect, and I will not bash him. But there is also, Frey, stop. That's my dog. There is also another side of this that basically, that what if that was only one shadow? You have to keep your mind open. What if it was just Bella? What if it wasn't both of them? What if he already took out Cece? So people that are getting mad that I don't agree with the whole shadow thing, I'm just not sure yet. How can you guys be sure when we don't know? We don't know at all. And all we have to go on is this author and the murderer. And so I find it, if you could believe that both the shadows are real, you have to think about the possibility that he has admitted to dragging Shanann out of there and putting her in the truck on the other side, the back door. He has also admitted, so that would cause a shadow dragging. He also has admitted to bending down, picking her up from under the arms and putting her in the truck, and then going around inside the garage and opening up that back door that we could not see on camera and pulling her over. So that the shadows could also be Shanann's body being drug out and him bending down to pick up her body to put it into the car, because he's on the other side of the truck. You guys, we don't know what those shadows are. The shadows could be one person. It could just be Bella, and he bent down and picked up Bella. We do not know 100% with certainty about these things, because we are going on the word of a murderer and the word of an author who just wanted to make money. And I'm not going to bash AD in any way, shape, or form. I just merely stated that I found out on this interview that the author has been watching AD for a year. She's been watching him since the murders. The author got to talk to Chris 5 months after the murders, which would be September, October, November, December, January. So the author got to talk to Chris in January. How do we know that the author didn't tell Chris about the shadows? And Chris is playing with all of us and was like, you know what? I'm going to say that he's right, because it gave Chris a little bit of fame. And so he decided that he was going to say the shadows were real, even though he was bending over picking up Shanann's body to put in the truck. We do not know. Just like we don't know that the shadows aren't real. The shadows could be real. There is a 50-50 chance. And I want everyone to keep their minds open here. Don't get mad because we don't all agree on one theory and want to leave, because then what is the whole point in putting our heads together to try to come up with the pieces to this puzzle? I'm sorry that I'd rather put the puzzle together myself than to trust this author or trust Chris. We don't know that Chris didn't want to make the story more famous, that the media was pumping down. He wasn't getting as much fan mail. And so when the author told him that people thought there were shadows, that the girls were alive, he ran with it to make the story bigger. He could be messing with all of our heads for all we know. He could just be creating the narrative himself by saying this stuff is true. But she did admit that Chris will never write AD back because he knows that AD is the one that had him started the petition to get the pictures taken down. And so now he's disgruntled towards AD. But in the beginning, he thought that he was the best thing since sliced bread because he is the one that was supporting him for the shadows. So we do not know 100% that those shadows were Bella and Cece. And that's all I'm trying to say. Don't get your information from me. Don't get your information from them or other YouTubers. Get all the facts and then come up with your own theory. So I just want everybody to know that I am not bashing him in any way, shape, or form. I actually respect him. I have subscribed to him. And do I agree with everything he said? No, I have some closest friends of mine, my very best friends, and I don't agree with everything they say. I don't think that everything they do is perfect, but am I here to judge them? No. But all I'm saying is if you can believe the shadow story, then you need to open up your mind to other alternatives as well. Like maybe he was picking up Bella. Maybe he was dragging the body, and that's what y'all saw. And he admits that he couldn't carry her, that he had to pick her up from under her shoulders and put her in the car. So I am not, everything that comes out of my mouth is not golden either. It is just all different ideas, and I will take some from my subscribers and I will take some from what I think. And we don't know, just like everybody doesn't know why there was another blanket. If Chris was supposed to smother Cece with the Yankees blanket, then why did the Yankees blanket show up on body cam in the house? And there are a million different scenarios for that. Either when Cece got her Yankees blanket, Bella got one too, and it was one of those things where they both got one because they both love the team, or the parents love the team, and so they didn't just buy one, they bought two matching ones so there wouldn't be any fighting, and they both got a blanket. And the blanket that you've seen on the floor of the body cam belonged to Bella, and it wasn't Cece's blanket. Or Chris could have had it stuffed in his pants. Those things are very light and fleece. He could have stuffed it in his pants or something for all we know and ran it upstairs. But who knows? We don't know that Chris opened up the Lexus to see if Shanann's phone was in there, or that he even thought about moving the Lexus, because this came from Sherilyn Cadle. We do not know if what comes out of Sherilyn Cadle's mouth is facts, out of AD's mouth is facts, out of Chris's mouth is facts. We don't know. We're all speculating. Every single one of us are speculating except for Chris, and he is mind controlling people, or not mind controlling. That's evidently what was happening to him, but he is creating the narrative. He is getting out there what he wants out there. He is being able to communicate with Nikki in code through these letters, I feel like. And so when I found out that Sherilyn Cadle has been following AD for a year, and when she said that Chris started getting fan mail from day one, or and other people have said this, the media outlet has said it, I'm sure it's in Discovery as we go over it, I started thinking, what if someone told him about this? And he decided to make it a big ordeal and say that it was true. And so he even says in his Wisconsin interview, whenever they said, or in one of his interviews in Wisconsin, they asked him if he knew that it was getting national attention. And Chris says, well, it didn't at first. So, and then he corrects them, letting them know this is my story, and no, you're getting it wrong. It didn't get all this national attention at first, because after he says that, he goes, now there are people in London and Australia and England that are trying to figure this case out. And that was in February, you guys, that they went to that. Sherilyn Cadle said she started talking to Chris 5 months after the murders, and that would have put it at January. But even if Sherilyn wasn't the one to tell him, how do you know that the Watts weren't the one to tell him when they went to visit him? And they each had 1 hour before sentencing. Jamie, Ronnie, and Cindy. How do we know that he wasn't being fed all this information? So people are like, oh, if you would have picked up the shadows, you would be tooting your horn. No, I won't, because it came from Chris. I wouldn't be tooting my horn about anything because Chris could be behind it all. So I wanted to answer some of the comments that I got on that video. A lot of people are taking it way wrong. Thank you, Marion. Very true about the blanket. Helen John, thanks for having my back. Okay, so the pagan community said that my subscribers were the ones that were coming after them. No, actually, Sherilyn Cadle wrote a missing chapter and called this weird dark cult that NK was in pagan. She wrote it in her missing chapter, and she read it on 2 Patreon pages right now, and it was not my subscribers. They were just saying what they had gotten, the information they had gotten from Sherilyn. Sherilyn is the one that said this cult that NK followed, this mind control and this Kundalini awakening and all that crap was a pagan religion. So please, let's get that right. I did come on here and apologize to the pagans for them feeling some type of way, because this is a true crime channel. This is not a channel where people can share their beliefs. That is between you and God. If you need to broadcast it, I don't believe it. Okay, and that's the same for pagans. You know, that is your own business. We aren't going to broadcast you're a pagan here, and we're not going to broadcast that people are Christians here. This is just to put our heads together and figure out cases. Guess what, guys? We might need the pagans one day when we're trying to figure out a case, because they know about something that is involved in a case. So let's not just shun them and push them out. Jesus walked the earth with misfits, drunks, murderers. You know, we don't need to keep ourselves surrounded by snowflakes. I mean, it is okay. Everybody needs to love. I think that maybe only Bella was alive, honestly. Let me put that up, Patty. I agree with you that. I think that he went ahead and got rid of Cece. There's no way that that child would not have been running around. Sherilyn Cadle thinks that Cece was brain damage after her first smothering. So that could be possible. I will give these things to these people. There is a 50% chance that AD is right, you guys, about the shadows. There is a 50% chance he is wrong also. So it is 50-50. And yes, I do believe that Bella was the only one. If there was a shadow, it was just Bella's. Or if there was a shadow, it was Shanann's body being dragged out to the back door and him bending over to pick up her body off of the pavement, you guys, and put it in the back of the truck. Yes, that's if there was a shadow black swan, it was just Bella's. I agree too. And so AD's subscribers came after me in my comment section and said that I was being mean to him. No, I'm just saying that you can't toot your own horn. He started out that Sherilyn Cadle interview by saying, so what was Chris so nervous about when he got caught on Nate the Neighbor's camera footage? He already knew. Plunder, me, and another channel had already put it out that he told Sherilyn he was nervous because he had clearly saw the shadows. And he wanted her to tell all of the Patreons that were listening that he was right. We get it. You were right. I applaud you for being right. But we still have to keep that 50% chance that that's not what it was, that he was bending over to pick up Shanann's body, or he was bending over to pick up just Bella. If you believe that there was a Bella and Cece shadow, you have to open your mind up and believe that it could have been just Bella, or it could have been Shanann's body, or it could have been anything. Okay, so let me address these comments. I slept in today till 11 o'clock, and I wake up to all this in the comments section, and I'm like, oh God, I don't have the patience to respond to all of these, but I want to respond. So, after listening to this author as well as AD, and Chris are lying. I don't believe one word. I watched AD just before the book came out, and he bashed the author. Too many contradictions for my taste. Sorry, I can't stomach him. Thank you. And I'm keeping all of these anonymous. So a lot of this makes little sense. If Chris Watt had brought Shanann Watt's phone to stage text, it would have pinged the phone's location at his work site. Also, backing her Lexus out of the garage would have been captured on Nate's camera. The author is the one that said this because AD asked her why the phone would be in the car. She came home at 2 a.m. through the front door. Why would her phone be in the car? And the author told AD that that he was so in chaos that morning with the girls still being alive that he wasn't sure if he left it in the Lexus because he contemplated moving it. He did not move it. For this subscriber that said this, Sherilyn Cadle said that he could have left the phone in there. And again, I am just reporting what they're saying because I feel like you guys should know. If you are following this case in any way, shape, or form, you should hear what the author of the book is saying. I put out my synopsis on every single chapter of the book, but I'm not supposed to tell you what the author's saying on Dr. Oz, what the Devil Beside Me podcast was. I want to cover it all. I don't want to just cherry pick the channels that she's going on. I want to know the stuff she is spreading so we can filter between fact and fiction on our own. That is why I am doing that. My opinion, Shadow's not real. The original tape does not show them. As for the girls being smothered twice, the way he describes this is not medically possible. So many lies. Thank you. The footage of their bedroom seems to indicate Shanann would have had to lay on her right side to face Chris. That side of the bed seemed like it was where her nightstand was, but Chris Watts said she was lying on her left side and he was lying on her right side. Yes, when pregnant women are uncomfortable or they're not feeling good, your doctor tells you to lay down on your left side because it relieves some pressure down there. And a lot of women that normally lay on their right side lay on their left side when they're pregnant. On the letter to Jamie, that I don't know what that means. It wasn't spelled correctly. If Chris really admitted seeing the girls on Nate's CCTV footage, then yes, AD should get recognized for that, especially since the grief AD had to put up with over it from other creators. Yes, and if you believe AD, you need to keep your mind open that it could have been just Bella or it could have been Bella and Shanann's body. The shadows are real. You can see it under the car. But as someone else stated on the first watching of this, there were no shadows. So we do not know what to believe, you guys. There is no concrete evidence on anything. Okay, so my mind changes when I hear concrete evidence, like she wasn't supposed to be there. I didn't think that, I thought he was going to annihilate his whole family, but now I think that Bella saw something and she ended up dying because she saw something. I now think that Bella, she wasn't supposed to be there, was either Bella or NK showing up there. Why would he have that Freudian slip? And so my mind changed. At one point, I did not believe that NK had anything to do with it. But as soon as Chris said that and all these other things started happening, my mind changed. But my mind is not going to change because some YouTuber said it. I need facts. My mind's not going to change because Chris said it. My mind is not going to change because Sherilyn Cadle said it. My mind is open. Everybody can still give me your opinions and your thoughts until there is something that solidifies it, that I'm not going to believe it. NK closing this business down, you can look it up, you can solidify that. So I believe the part about the business. And then I think you're clarifying that Wiccans, pagans are not Satanists, nor do they have a dark energy or anything else. I noticed some concerning comments from your subscriber a few videos back and wanted to say something, but didn't want to get piled on. Wiccans have nothing to do with the devil. Most don't even believe. Okay, so Lutheran T is saying that my subscribers are the ones that had some bad comments about pagan. No, it was Sherilyn Cadle, and we were just commenting on what Sherilyn Cadle put in her book. So let's clarify. Let's not come after my subs because they're not the ones that did that. They're not the ones that opened up that conversation. We've all been here with you guys, with the pagans and the Christians. We've all been one happy family, and nobody has pushed their religion on anybody. And I have been here with you guys for over a month. Maybe not some of your the new ones, but I've been with you guys for over a month, and nobody has pushed any of that on anybody. What has happened is that Sherilyn put it in the book, and then it got talked about. And what are the chances that both girls got back up? He told her that they were blue and stiff, and that's how he knew they were dead. So I don't believe him. Chris Watts so many times that Cece was first. See, and Lee and Elaine noticed what I noticed. He does get a little arrogant and a little cocky. And let me tell you something, you guys. If you see that happening to me with 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 subscribers, put me in my place. I am very self-reflective. I will listen to you and I will self-reflect. I am trying to be the most humble person I've ever been in my entire life. As I move forward as a grandmother, becoming a grandmother will do that to you. And so you guys call me out if I ever get like that. I don't think the girls got back up. He says he knew how to press the jugular. Good point, Summer Hayes. I don't think he did the girl because originally he didn't know how they died. Or he was pretending not to know, Leanne Delane. So do you think Nikki did it, Leanne Delane? If he admits that Cece was put in the car already dead, it makes him look even more monstrous. Bella would have had to sit in the car with a dead mother. Thank you, Black Swan. Thank you, sister. Yes, I agree. So yes, and that is going to be respected here. I put just as, okay, like these comments at the bottom of the screen, all of my followers see that I don't just put my agenda down there. I put other people's opinions down there. Very good points. I am the one that puts up the comments that go on this screen. And if you notice, it's not just what I think. I am open to your thoughts and your ideas, and they can even sway my own opinion. That's why I got out of the group on Facebook, because I felt like everyone's opinions in that group was starting to sway my own thoughts. And so I needed to filter between fact and fiction. And I couldn't remember what I had read and seen in interviews and what I had read and seen in this Facebook group. So if you are in one of those groups, I highly recommend getting out of it, because it clouds your brain with all of those other people's opinions, and you can't really keep it unbiased. But here, I promise you, we can keep it unbiased. Yes, Helen Johns. That makes sense. A lot of people, you're not the only one. Thank you, Misty. That could be possible, Deli. That she wasn't strong enough. She wasn't as strong as she thought she was. If you look at the discovery pic of someone advertising underwear with Chris Watts semen stains, the partial pic underwear is someone selling an ornament of Wiccan. Oh, wow. Very good. Thank you, Charlie. And I did address what you emailed me about and about the comments and all of that. And it did get started by Sherilyn's chapter. She is the one that originally started, that said that this cult that NK was about and all that dark stuff was pagans. And so that's what my subscribers were talking about, what Sherilyn had said in this missing chapter. And so I do apologize. I have said it repeatedly on the last two lives that the pagans are welcome here. Okay, as far as I know, I saw in Discovery, they didn't just have screenshots of the text, but also eventually got formal scripts from the phone company, but they were really hard to read. If they were drugged, he might have thought they were dead. He did say it was harder to kill them and easier to kill his wife. Yes, exactly. And if Bella would have fought back, you guys, if she watched him kill his sister, her sister and her mom. Of course she's going to fight back because she was well aware, she watched it twice, what was going to happen to her. So that's why she fought back. Okay, so someone else says that in their opinion, Cadel is muddying the waters by adding her own theories to what he told her. She makes her own book less credible with every statement. She should have just stuck to the letters and what she was told, the truth or not. At some point, she didn't even know the actual facts from Discovery. Someone else said he was nervous watching the video because he was loading bodies. He was nervous because he didn't know what the video was able to capture. I'm on the fence about trying to kill the kids twice. Like Judge Judy said, if things don't make sense, usually they are not true. Stiff and blue, then getting back up, that doesn't seem plausible. I think the shadows are real and there. And I remember watching AD and he thoroughly went through it. And as for everything else, who knows? It's insane how crazy this has gotten. It blows my mind. And I agree with craziness because of a lot of this BS, nothing but lies to sensationalize the case. And so we don't know that that Chris wasn't told about the shadows, and he decided to bring the media coverage back on the case again because the shadows being real brought the media back on. And so we don't know that it wasn't to sensationalize the case and that there was only one shadow, or that the shadow that you saw was him dragging Shanann's body. And then when he got to the back door to put her in, he bent down, picked her up, put her in. He says he went around the back of the truck, opened up the back door, and pulled her body back through. But he was just dragging her on the ground. He admitted to dragging her through the garage, dragging her down the stairs, and dragging her on the ground to his truck. So he would have had to bend down and pick her up off the ground, and the shadow or the body would have made some form of shadow. But I saw the shadow. It looks like he picked it up and moved quickly, putting what he picked up in the truck. So again, this person is at least keeping their mind open to what he picked up. Did not hear Cadel bash pagans. The whole book, or the whole chapter on NK, she was calling what NK was following a pagan religion. So the awakening, how long was this? Did they need sacrifices? Nothing about sacrifices were ever mentioned, but I'm sure if you could look this up and research it, you can find that out throughout history of this religion. I still say, because there is some truth in what Chris says, that he drugged the girls and NK was there to be with the girls while he was to kill Shanann and to get rid of her body and be back before they woke up. And they would never know she was there. But Shanann's plane was late and the girls woke up and saw him kill her, their mommy, and they would say, Daddy hurt mommy, which he says Bella did say that. So he knew that he didn't have any other choice but to kill the girls too. This was all off, but I know no one even see this, but it makes sense. I agree with you, Kathy. You got a lot of people that agree with you on that. Cindy is ridiculous. She knew there was no case by CPS. Shanann was an amazing mother. I agree. Let's see. See, and a lot of people think that way, Charlie. I think Shanann knew of Chris Watts' activities as far as him not sleeping at the house when she was in NC, because if doors opening and the alarm set, yeah, Leanda, that makes a lot of sense. Have you all not petrified before? You get very strong. He could have carried Shanann. Exactly. I feel like this has never been addressed by anyone. Which thing, Keiko? Oh, about the cameras? Yes. Or the doors would have been opening up and stuff. She would have known that he wasn't home because there was no activity saying garage door open or front door open on her phone those days. Yeah, that makes sense, Keiko. Definitely. If he smothered the girls first, it is quite possible one got back up and could have just been unconscious. I'm sure he didn't check for a pulse. They would look blue until they got their oxygen back. Good point, Black Swan. And see, this is a community where you can be heard. If you believe the shadows are real, that's great. There's a 50% chance you're right. If you believe the shadows aren't real, that's great too. You could be 50% right, and you are welcome here. This is a community that if you don't agree with what my theory is, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean that you can't stay here and help convince me of your theory. As long as it makes sense, then I will definitely believe it. Yeah, it could be possible that they're holding back a lot of ring footage. Very true. Okay, so some other things. Who is Sherilyn? Who is her? Sherilyn's lawyer? I do not believe that she got that paid advice. No, it was Sandy's lawyer I was talking about, you guys. He went into the graphic details about killing the children twice. It's because he is getting narcissistic supply by describing this horrifying details, knowing how shocked everyone would be knowing this. In my opinion, they were dead before Shanann Watts got home. Some people wonder if he kept them in the fridge until he bought them to the site. I mean, that's a very strong possibility because he was very concerned about the fridge. He kept asking her if she found anything out about the downstairs fridge, and he asked her about a bucket down there too. And so that makes a lot of sense because we do know that he took pictures of the refrigerator temperature. So I was disappointed with the interview. It was full of personal opinions and speculations and very short of actual facts. I did think AD was grandstanding a lot with regards to the shadow and the fact that a convicted killer might know his name. Yes, he asked him if Chris knew him, and that's when she went into detail about how he knew that he was the one that started the petition to get his stuff taken down. But we all know that AD's been writing Chris since May. Now we know why he's not writing him back. He knows that he is the one that tried to get the picture taken down, and it must bother Chris a little bit that by him admitting the shadows were real, he made him become famous. He made Dr. Phil mention him. And so Chris must be a little butthurt that after he made him famous, that he went rallying a petition to get his pictures taken down. So Chris probably has a little bit of animosity towards AD. Right? And Tina Hansen, I got you, girl. It is hard to figure this out. That's why I don't want anyone to leave because our opinions don't match. You never know what kind of information you could bring to the table. Just like this person that just said that Shanann had to know Chris was gone and not in that house because there was no activity from the ring camera all those days. Thank you, K-Cove. He made Shanann think the system with alarm, etc. was malfunctioning and told her he'd call to have it fixed, but put it off till Shanann said she'd call. Then he pretended to fix it. Exactly. He never called anyone, Feisty Taco. He was the one that broke it. Let's see. I think you're right. It was NK going nuts on 4th of July. Nate heard. And why did Nate retract his statement on TV about maybe NK's dad gave him a little bit of money? You think? But he did retract his statement. But you know that hearing that he heard had to be from the 2 weeks before, a month before. It was just a month ago. That's why he thought it was Shanann. But he retracted it because he realized that Shanann wasn't home for 6 weeks, and there's no way that they could have been yelling. So he didn't really know a whole lot about the mistress at the time. So that's why I think he retracted it. Yeah, and him mentioning they were stiff does make sense, Helen Johns, that he would remember that and give us a half truth because it was hard getting them into the either bucket that he asked Sherilyn about or the fridge. And let me see what Summer said. Let's put it up. I think you're right. It was NK going, oh, I already said that. Yes, well, I've always thought that the yelling and screaming was from NK and Chris, not Shanann and Chris, that the neighbor heard. Probably. That makes sense, Patty. And see, this is what I like. This is what I like is people that aren't saying the shadows are real and I can't believe that you're doing this to AD. He already took so much flack, and I'm not coming at him in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, you guys keep your mind open. If I say something, it doesn't make it golden. If he says something, doesn't make it true. If Chris says something, it's definitely not true. And we've come to find out that the author contradicts herself like a mad woman. I mean, it is insane how much she contradicts herself. What was one of the things from last night that really blew my mind that she was contradicting herself? Let me just, I've got to find this because I couldn't believe it because I remember hearing her say something else. Well, she also says that the missing chapter got held out because her lawyer told her that she could be held to some kind of legal action. I'm trying to remember where it was. There was a lot of contradictions, and I was just like, wow. She's saying that the notarized letter that Chris is the one that sent that to her, saying that she could use all the letters, that she hadn't intended on using the letters until Chris wrote her with that notarized document saying that they could. Mm, mm. Oh, and she also is saying what really blew my mind that the author said in that interview is that people, since she has written this book, people are no longer saying Shanann did it. And that she is, if she has done anything with this book, she was able to give Sandy and Frank and Frankie Jr. closure because now that she wrote this book, no one believes that Shanann killed the girls. That is not true. If he did anything in that 5-hour interview in Wisconsin with the FBI, CBI, and Frederick, Colorado, it was clear Shanann's name. He might have gave us a lot more questions and confused the crap out of us, but he definitely cleared Shanann's name. This book did not clear Shanann's name. This book called Shanann an emasculator. This book gave Shanann a backhanded, disrespectful comments from Chris twice being rolled into the grave, and how detailed he went with that. He should have never done that. He should have showed her respect. That was one last time of disrespecting her beyond death. And then how he said that he knew that she was dead when she did that other thing. I mean, he could have left that out. He is sick. He is sick, 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 and I am not believing nothing that comes out of his sick mind. And we also need to know that most of the stuff that she said in this missing chapter was her speculation and what she thinks. That's what I've been saying, Kara. This whole video is about, I think it was Chris taking Shanann's body out to the truck and put her body in the truck. In the footage, we don't see what he did with the girls, just Shanann's body. I told you that Kara actually agrees with me too. I say the same thing. We do not know. Hi, Save Robbie. Nate said he just didn't want to leave. Shanann yelled all the time. Yeah, because she didn't. And he knew that it was the mistress there. He knew that the Lexus came out on the driveway and NK's car went into the garage. He knew that. And you guys turn your volume down. I'm getting heated. This stuff really upsets me. And so turn your mic down because I get loud. That makes sense, Helen Johns. Lady Luckin, he's been here for a while, actually. He is awesome. I love Save Robbie. He is a no-nonsense type of guy. You guys go subscribe to Lady Luckin and Save Robbie. Love that everybody is a community here. It's great. Thanks for welcoming me into you guys' community, because this community was here before I ever came along. And I just want to say thank you so much for you guys welcoming me with open arms. It is great. I have been here for a year studying this, just talking to my family about it and friends and everyone, but they're sick of hearing it, and I'm not done talking about it. So hence I'm here, and it's giving me a great outlet. I do believe the mascara story, it's the timeline I have a problem with. The only bit of truth I observed from Chris Watts. Agreed. He tells kind of truths in everything he says. That's why we have to go back over his interviews and anything he says, because as they say, without making this religious, the devil is in the details. So we can figure things out by looking at the details. It's just a figure of speech, you guys. It doesn't mean anything. So I don't think Critical K is friends with Jamie. I think Critical K, and I have a pretty good source on this, because when I got kicked out that day, you guys, I got some emails from some people that were not very happy that her pictures were up in that Patreon group of CKs. And so her and Jamie Watts are not friends. I think Jamie Watts and Jay is for Justice are friends, though. I think you might, you had partly right, but I think her and Jay is for Justice are friends. Cato has just horrified the family more. Yes, and Marion, she's trying to pretend like her book is giving the Ruseks closure. And she said if anyone was deceived, she was, by Chris. Didn't Chris say he decided in NC the weeks he was there with Shanann and the girls that he knew he had to kill the girls too? He said that he decided to kill the girls when he decided to kill Shanann on the 14th. That's his truth. Who knows if it is true? Nope, he didn't consider her at all before death or after death. But so could have Cadel, though. No doubt he has issues, but she has no couth, Exactly. And so we don't know who the liars are here. We don't know who is telling the truth here. So I just highly recommend you figure it out for yourself and you decide. You get all the facts that you can and all the information you can. Make sure you filter between facts and fiction, and you decide, and don't let no other YouTuber or creator sway you. You figure it out on your own. With, you can let us help you come to a conclusion, but ultimately you get to decide what you think happened. I know she didn't, Summer. I understand the author wanting to get the truth, but revealing horrific details just re-victimized Shannon's family. Dare to be different. This is very true. And why the fact that you're going around telling people that because she didn't give you a voice, you didn't let her brace herself for the impact of this book. That is just wrong. That's like nanny boo boo school crap, because you didn't share your Skittles with me. I'm not going to pick you to play or on any of the games. You're going to be alienated or outcast or shunned. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You don't do that. You don't use your information that you got on mother's daughter's death to get her to have a voice. That is just foul. That rubs me the wrong way. I had respected her, a shred of respect for her up until that point. But when she said that on Dr. Oz, I lost it. I lost it. I would probably look like a crazy person yelling at my TV. Exactly. Not if you are confident in your environment, and because you're in a controlled environment, or if you are protected with an armor, so to speak, then you don't need to worry, because fear, it makes it worse. Fear feeds into darkness. The more scared you are, the more power it gets. He flushed something down the toilet and clogged it up. Patty Allen. Ooh, that's a juicy little tidbit. Let's see. Wow, this is evil. This young woman had already lost her life by her son. Has anyone ever heard CK and Jay is First Justice on the same live? They used to do it together a long time ago. And they've been recently busting each other out in text. But I try to stay out of all that. Burr, Marion Burr, LOL. She looked at me like you go outside by yourself, woman. Huh. Kindergartners on social media. At Shelley, Suzanne, Chris Watts said that the bathroom between the girls' room was locked to prevent them from getting in, but that's what the other bathroom next to their playroom with books. Oh, yeah. You're right. They did have that bathroom locked. Good. Summer, I'm glad to have you and your sweet little mind of yours. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Uh-oh. Adi and Cato are victimizing the family with their sensationalized lies. The interview is nothing but twisted facts as well as the truth to fit their narrative. Felicity Strong, that's why I broke it down. It's a 2-hour and 45-minute interview. I watched the whole thing for you guys, and you can watch my video that says Insomniacs, and you can hear pretty much anything that was of importance in that interview in my own words in the video before this one. So instead of going to watch the whole 2-hour and 45-minute long live, you can watch my 30-minute video I did early this morning. Yes, they do sound very much alike. Agreed. And I know, it blew my mind when she said that. Her name did not need to be cleared. The law enforcement never believed that. Exactly. And if it ever got cleared, it got cleared when Chris talked to them back in February. You guys, Chris's second confession, his first one came on August 13th. Hold on. Does anybody know by body cam how big is the refrigerator? It's huge. It's a big black double opening one. I honestly think there were 2 refrigerators in there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there, you guys, or a fridge and a freezer? But I know it was a big black double open doors. Ivy Lou, you're next. So question, Nikki said she rode in Shanann's car. Then when Chris went into the garage, he checked the passenger seat of the car. Nikki dropped something in there? Maybe. But we all know that she rode into the car to the Mustang Museum. Thank you, Summer. I am very honored to have you here. Very, very. Let's see. He spoke of them playing with Vaseline as they was no water in the toilet and the doors were locked. And the key to their bathroom was in his pocket. Oh. The CPA's accusation by Cindy is evil. And it's evil for Sherilyn to continue bringing it up. It's already been subsided. For Sherilyn to bring that back up in her book is just a slap in the face to Shanann again. And I'm so tired of the way that Sherilyn treats Shanann and then pretend like she cares. A freezer and a refrigerator. Thank you, Felicity. See, I thought I saw 2 fridges too. This is what Summer said. 2 fridges, 1 black, 1 silver. I thought I saw one too. Yes, I agree. I just saw the fridge. I went looking for that information as soon as I heard her say that Tuesday night on the Patreon. Because I've had the missing chapters since I paid Critical K for the Patreon on Tuesday night. So I went looking for that refrigerator that very night. Ivy Lou, according to the interview, he said he was looking for Shanann's phone as he forgot to bring it with him the morning of the murders. Yes, and then armchair detective asked her, why would her phone be in the car? She got dropped off and walked in the front door. And Sherilyn said, oh, I think Chris thought he might have put it in there when he was running around that morning because he thought about moving the Lexus so he could pull his truck in more. It is like Department of Social Services. It's like the people that take your children away and investigate allegations when people call in on you. It's called DHS at places, DSS at places, all kinds of different. It's the Human Services for Children. I saw a video. They blow it up. Looked like her ring. He got out of the car. Wish I remember who did this. See, I thought he got the ring out of the car too. That's honestly what I've always thought, is that he got the ring out of the car. And then because shortly after that is when he found the ring, so he didn't wait long after getting in the car. And the lighter in the passenger door of his work truck, odd place if you can't have passengers. Yes. Thank you, Helen Johns. Yes, Sherilyn was disrespectful to the entire family. Where did it go? Thank you, Jennifer. Very, very. Let's see. I know he knew that she wasn't in it and hadn't been in it, but Ivy Lou, the author told AD that he said he got in it because he was going to move it, but decided not to. I know Shanann's parents slept in the basement for a year, so maybe it was for their drinks and groceries. Let's see. Oh, it's this here. Shanann's parents, VHS. He got the ring out of the car. See, Charlie agrees with me too, or I agree with him, however you want to look at it. Shanann's parents slept in the basement. Oh. Swore I just had that. Nice to have a discussion about true crime. I know not one relative, friend, or stranger who will engage in conversation about a case like this. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Patty. You're absolutely right. They get tired of hearing about it. They're like, why do you want to talk about this? Why do you watch Investigation Discovery all day? Because I'm just fascinated by cases and how they can get away with it with the one slightest mess up in court or during the investigation. And so that fascinates me, that the system is so flawed, not in a good way. It doesn't fascinate me, but it makes me have to find out for myself. Yeah, I bet you he was. He probably flushed up his oxys he was taking. Wonder if they did CK's plumbing. And he may not have been taking oxys, but we know that he got his hands on them. That's for sure. So somebody went and looked. The black fridge looks like the one that Shanann said had to be replaced around Christmas 2017. She has a video about it. A lot of people agree he was getting the ring out of the car. I think as he was dragging her body to the truck, he realized about the ring and he had her. He was in the middle of dragging her. So before he put her in the truck, as he was passing the car, he pulled the ring off of her finger and put it in the truck. And if the girls were alive, they saw that. And it's just hard for me to believe that the girls were alive. But on the other hand, why would he make himself look that terrible by saying that they were? Yes, he did something in the bathroom. He had the key in his pocket with the police there to open it. I think it was a garage door opener, since the garage door was open about 6 a.m. Chris said the notifications were a mistake and maybe the garage door did not close after he left. Yes, yeah. And I also thought about that too, that Nikki was still in the house after he left. And the police did push the garage door button and run out to see if you would be able to get out of the house without an opener. So all you would have had to do is push the button on the wall and you could run out, and the garage door didn't stop because of your motion going out. It actually finished closing. So that is in Discovery, you guys, if that helps anyone. Someone blew the video of when he got in the car. It was very shiny. The writer is all over the place now. She tried to act like she didn't know nothing about stuff that she's been talking about for months. So it's just ridiculous. And she didn't have to say that Bella had oil in her lungs and that she thinks that Bella was put in the tank alive. There was only a tiny bit of oil in that tank, but it is true that you can drown on a teaspoon of water. A child can. But why would she say that? That's already been put to rest and to bed, and she brings it back up and says this in 2 different Patreons. Like, I feel so bad for Sandy and Frank and Frankie Jr. And if Frank Jr. already had issues, then he's going to really have issues now, and it won't be his fault. Since we heard about OxyContin, I've wondered if he was flushing. That's what I just said, Charlie. Did you hear me? I said he was probably flushing his oxys. Yeah, because those are, you can get in a lot of trouble, even here in North Carolina. If you have one oxy and you do not have a prescription, they crack down on that. So you get a lot of trouble. It's definitely a felony. And if someone dies here, the person that sold them the oxy gets charged with murder. I can't believe he dug a grave, buried Shanann, then killed the babies in 1 hour. He is an evil nutcase. Maybe he had the grave dug ahead of time, you guys. He had all weekend. Maybe him and NK went and dug the grave and then went to the lazy dog. Who knows? It could have already been dug on Saturday because nobody was going to see that area until Monday morning. Medical science does not support Chris Watts' claims about the girls. I agree, Felicity Strong. The whole refrigerator question is because of Chris told Cadel that he couldn't believe the police didn't check it. And the fact that he took a picture of the refrigerator temperature. Yes, exactly. You guys are all on it. Yeah, I got me some good little detectives. Thank you. Thank you. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. You're welcome here. We do not judge people for what they think. We do not have to have matching agendas. We do not have to have matching theories. You are welcome to speak your mind here. If you get nasty and ugly or you start trying to drag me or subscribers or other creators, you will be blocked immediately. Seems too hesitant on telling the police he got a notification at 5:27 a.m. That's true, Summer. The author claims she has got no money so far, and Dr. Oz paid only for airfare and hotel. I know. She's saying that she does all this for publicity for the book. But 80 says he's not paying her, but Critical K has paid her every time she's gotten on her channel, either giving her super chats or asking for her donation information. See, Felicity Strong, they are saying that the oil in the lungs was redacted from the autopsy and that it was in there. That lies. You're right. It's just spreading more lies. She's just as bad as Chris. I know, Marion. I know. Yay! Hey, neighbor. Hey, neighbor. Hey, neighbor. I do not believe Sherilyn is for the Watts. Oh, she is not. I never said she was. She's definitely not pro Watts at all. She said she'll never go see Chris again. That the last time she saw him, there was something so dark in his eyes that she told her husband that she's never going back. I wonder if NK is crapping her pants right now, knowing her secrets are getting exposed. Yeah, I guarantee you she's in these chats, you guys. She is such a narcissist. She's on her Android phone or her new Apple phone, whatever new state-of-the-art phone she has. And she's sitting, this is my old one that's broken. She's sitting there just in these comments. Hi, NK. Mama Beauty's here. And just mad, like, why is this happening to me? So yeah, be careful if you are making videos on NK. She is definitely in the comments and looking up everything she can about her name. I did not see anything about oil in the lungs of the children on the autopsy. Where is she getting that? She's saying that there's another piece of the autopsy somewhere, that it was redacted because the discovery is getting redacted. Everybody's saying any information that's not there is been redacted. So it just fits their agenda and their narrative. Hey, Ashley. Hold on, I need to make sure that this is not a troll. I had to block him because he said I needed more oxy. Yes, it could have been Doug already. The timeline for that morning shows he did not have a chance to dig any grave or kill the girls until 7 that morning. 7:18, he took a photo of his laptop screen. Doesn't add up. Exactly. He probably did it before. The hinting of brain damage of Cece is disgusting. Yeah, why did she have to say that? Like, I think her spending time with Chris, that those things attach themselves to her. And I'm not saying it was necessarily demons. I'm just saying that his darkness rubbed off, that she was influenced by spending that much time with him and by receiving his letters. That's why there's no way in HE double hockey sticks I am writing that man. No way. Didn't her phone ping at her work when he was at the oil field when she sent the text about the song? So that means she wasn't there. What I saw somewhere. Yeah, but that was later. I think she did that at 8 a.m. and the murder happened at 4 a.m. So still, my mind is open to the fact that she could have been there. That makes sense, Alexandria Nicholas. That's probably true. And Chris did say a lot of the young people in Colorado are following this cult. Yeah, that could be true too. Yeah, Melinda, I'm just sharing what the author said. She didn't clock in till late. I was in a Facebook page. We were discussing the Watts case, and every time someone said something about NK, this person went crazy. I wonder if it was NK or one of her friends. Exactly. I was in Critical K's group when it first went up on Facebook, and that's how I found the YouTube community and everybody, and even came over here is because I got in that Watts group that Critical K had, and I ended up leaving it a few months later again because I just my brain was getting clouded with everybody else's agendas and thoughts and theories and speculation, and so at one point I couldn't tell what was fact or fiction, and so I got out of that group and came to YouTube and started watching the polygraph and the interviews and all of that. Oh, thank you, AJ. That is so sweet. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. And for anyone that thinks that I am marketing on death, never ever or will any of my Watts videos, Nicole videos, or even Cheryl and Cato videos, will they be monetized? If you hadn't noticed, the only thing I monetize are my giveaways, my nail videos, and family friendly stuff. This stuff is not family friendly. There's no way that I want to make money off of it, on ads. So, and also, if you send me a case that you want me to cover, a year has to have passed. I need to not touch any tragedies because of families. Families need time to heal. So I do not want to touch any case that I haven't given the family a whole year to process this. So the Frazee case happened a year ago, you guys. The Watts case happened over a year ago. So I will not touch any of this until enough time has passed for these families to grieve. And it's never enough time. I mean, my mother was murdered in 1992 and it still feels like yesterday. So, but I just want to respect them. And so if someone sends me a case and they're like, well, why didn't she even acknowledge that? It's because it's too soon. It just happened. I would never cover the shooting that just happened the other day. I would never cover fresh stuff like that because I just feel like it's not respectful. And even Sherilyn putting out the stuff that she has, like CC being brain dead and some of the things that she said, she didn't have to go that far. Yes, Chris may have told her that, but she could have gotten her point across without saying some of the things that she did. Thank you, Melinda. That's very sweet. Yes, he did. He got a stay of execution. He's getting a new trial. I found this out on my Patrick Frazee video yesterday, and so you can see how elated and overjoyed I am when I found out. If you watch the Patrick Frazee update from yesterday, one of my subscribers told me, because I actually did a video on Rodney Reed. That's how I was like, you guys got to do something. And it was 5 days before his scheduled execution that he got a stay of execution and a new trial. 5 days, you guys. Wow, now that was some divine intervention. Yes, my mother was murdered by my stepfather in 1992 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it is still a cold case to this day. He is a walking free man. And he also molested me while I was a child. And by the time I told on him, the statute of limitations had ran out in the states that he did it to me in. So he is a free man right now. And my mom's murder is a cold case, even though he has admitted to people that he did it and even told me that if I told, he would kill her. And I had told. Jackie, normally I wake up in the morning and I read my emails. What happened is today I woke up and I saw everybody getting upset about my AD video. And so instead of reading my emails with my coffee, like I normally do, I came here to clarify some things. And so I probably do need to go and read some emails, get people back, back to people, but I only check my emails once a morning. So if you send me an email at 1:00 in the afternoon, I'm more than likely not going to read it until the following morning because I try not to be a slave to my electronics. I even keep my phone on silent so I can go and check it when I'm ready. That's right, Ivy Lou. Oh, that is so sweet. You did not have to do that, Mary Deathy Dells. That is very sweet. Thank you for the super chat. And I am donating 20% of my super chats, you guys, to a good cause. We, as um, the people that donated, I will give them a voice on where we are going to donate the money to. But I am keeping track of all my super chats, and at the end of the month, I am going to. They take 30% automatically from super chats. And then I'm going to give up another 20% to a good cause because this channel needs to give back. We need to help people. So 20% of my super chats will go to a charity that we decide on. So that is awesome. I work for Mary Kay and I only make 50%. So I have no problem with only making 50% off of my super chats. 30% goes automatically back to the super chat people and 20% will go to a good cause. Hold on, my dog's barking. It's nobody. Cut it out, Frey. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. Yes, it is. I saw unknown and returned. I sent again. I saw your emails there last night, Jackie, on my phone. I promise they're there. So he drank his whole life. The man that murdered my mother drank his whole life. And so he has cirrhosis of the liver and he is dying slowly in his parents' old home. I know exactly where he is. And so, once he killed my mother, I never saw him again because I immediately went to my next of kin, which was in North Carolina, which was my father, this man right here. Since my mom never had any paperwork drawn up that he would get custody of me and my brother, my sister ended up having to stay with him. And we came, me and my brother, to live with my dad in North Carolina. Well, that was when I was 14. When I turned 16, I got emancipated from my dad and moved back to Oklahoma and got my sister out of his care and put into foster care. I did tell what happened to me back then, but I was only 16 years old, so I couldn't really do anything about it. At that time, I was just trying to get my sister out of his care and into this foster care. And whenever she got put in foster care, of course, I came back up here because I was only a 16-year-old on the streets of Tulsa, Oklahoma, you guys, which is the capital of Oklahoma. It's not some little podunk. It's what's on live PD all the time. That's Tulsa. So that's where I was born. And so I got my sister away from him. And then me and my sister reconnected recently, and she told me that he is dying slowly of cirrhosis with the liver. I mean, this man would wake up and drink a beer in the shower in the mornings. There were beer cans all over our house growing up. It was awful. Let's see. Paula, I'm going to get my Mary Kay link on December 2nd because on December 1st, I have to reactivate it. And I will give you guys my Mary Kay link, I promise. But right now, if you ordered off of it like my sister did, then Mary Kay is going to get all of the money and I'm not going to get any because I'm inactive because I haven't made an order in 3 months. But I've been selling it for 2 years. I just took a 3-month break because all my friends and family already had everything that they needed and the products last forever, so they wouldn't need refills for a while. So I just made myself inactive. But on December 1st, I'm going back active and I will give you guys, I will saturate you with that email. I promise. We are actually covering the interview in Wisconsin, Alexandra Nicholas. We're doing it 30 minutes at a time. I've only been able to cover the first 30 minutes because I'm trying to get NK's interviews out of the way first. See, exactly. And so that is, if there is a possibility, there is a 50% chance that the shadows are real, but there's also a 50% chance that Chris is playing with us all. So that's all I want to keep in mind. Thank you, Paula. I promise December 2nd, ask me for that link and it will be rocking and rolling. What did I say? You said something, Alexandra? Sorry. Let's go back. Oh, girl. Oakland EC just checked me. You're absolutely right. So sorry, girl. Can't be right about everything. I was absolutely wrong about Tulsa being the capital of Oklahoma. But of course, I haven't been there since I was 16 and I'm 41. Sorry about that. That's where I was born, though. I didn't say you asked me to do anything. Okay. She Mary Death Dells, she said that she was when she was younger, but then when she got older, she said it was just dreams. And now she talks to him still. Yay! I have a pink sister up in here. No, I was telling you, Alexandra, that we read them here, that I was covering them here already. I am covering those interviews here already. We already did the first 30 minutes, and we still have 4.5 hours of it to cover. But I really don't like the way you came at me like that. So we need some good energy in here. So I'm not going to tolerate it. I don't care if my subscribers drop down to 500. I need genuine people in here that are not going to fly off the handle when people make mistakes. I just said Tulsa was the capital of Oklahoma. I made a huge mistake. I have no problem admitting when I make mistakes, and I will correct them. If somebody checks me, I will be the first to admit that I was wrong. So we're not going to have all this catty BS in my channel. Thank you, Danica. Thank you. It's okay. I got rid of Alexandra. She's not playing nice. I can't. I mean, it's only I am like very sensitive, let's just put it that way, and my blocking finger is heavy. I want this to feel like a safe and peaceful environment, and as soon as somebody comes at me, my subscribers or any other creator, then they're getting blocked. So Yeah, I am. Don't worry, honey. But I don't have very many. Don't let that scare you guys away. I hardly ever have any trolls in here. And if I do have them, they're being very good. They're on their best behavior. I mean, I've only had to block probably 10 people in the month that I've started. So, no worries. This is a drama-free page. That's right. And if I get sidetracked, then I know that somebody's got to go. So anyway, I am going to let you guys go, though. I do have a lot to do today, and then I am going to cover that last NK final interview, the one that she was on the phone with him on August 21st, I think, or yeah, I believe it was August 21st. It was well after the murders. And we're going to cover that hour-long interview. We're going to talk about what you guys think about what she said, see if she slipped up on anything. And I will bring that to you guys live tonight, I promise. Jackie, I already told you I did not read your email from yesterday. I told you that in this live, that I did not read your email from yesterday. So I told you that I normally read them in the mornings, and I'm here right now instead of, I slept till 11 o'clock today, you guys, because I was up till 5 a.m. So no, I did not read your email. I do know that you and Ivy thought that Nicole Kessinger was in my comments yesterday. I know that. So if that's what the email was about, I have an attachment that I can send you guys of the comments that that person made, the Anton person, that makes me think that it wasn't her. So I screenshotted it so I could send it to you and Ivy so you guys can see why I don't think that was her. But you could be right. It is, again, a 50-50 chance. But it doesn't matter. I don't care if NK is in my comments because she's welcome to be here. It's a public page and a free platform. And so I have no copyright strikes. I have no privacy strikes. So if I get one or two, it's not going to be a big deal. I probably won't even tell y'all if I get one. So just everybody chill. I will get to you when I can. I promise I will get to you when I can. Again, I keep my phone on silent and I go to my phone when I'm ready to call people back or when I'm ready to text people back. My email, I only check it once a morning, once a day. So if you email me after that threshold, you're not going to get a response until the next day. That's just how I am. I do not let my devices control me. So much love and big hugs. Just remember, there is a 50% chance that AD is right, that those shadows are there. I'll give him that. Those shadows could be 100% real. But there's also a 50% chance that Chris is playing with us all, especially now that I know that Sherilyn Cadle has been following AD since day one and that she went to visit Chris in 5 months after the murders or right after. So this information is getting to Chris. He even mentioned it in his February Wisconsin interview that no, it didn't get national media attention at first. It came later, and people as far as Australia and England are trying to figure things out. And I have that written down as a quote from Chris in the first 30 minutes of that interview. So yes, I appreciate that, Jackie. That means the world to me. You have had my back since the get-go. So I do appreciate you. And yes, I promise you I will return your email. Ask my other subscribers. I have returned their emails. I promise there is not anyone that I won't return an email. Even if I don't even want to answer you, I will. That's just how I am. I'm not going to let people just email me and then wonder why I think I'm too good to respond. That's just not me. So let me put down here before I leave my website, you guys, if you want to browse my site for some 100% nail polish strips, then please do so. They are only $5 a pack and they are awesome. And there's over 200 different sets to choose from. So there is the website. That's my website, you guys. I wonder, oh, I think, I forgot the S, www.raritynails.com /u/mama beauties. Okay, so this is my email, or not my email. This is my website, you guys. Okay. If you want to shop and help a single mother out that stays at home and works from home and homeschools, hook a sister up and go get you some $5 nails. You don't have to donate to a super chat or anything. You can just go get you some $5 nails, you guys, if you want to help me out. Now, this here is my email. If you are struggling with addiction, or you have been a victim of domestic violence and you want to talk, then by all means, email me. But if you are ready to share your story, email me and we will get you on the channel. So you can share your survivor story. You can do it with just your voice. You could do it with your face. You can email me. I can read your story to the subs, or we can just keep it private between us. I promise you, you are safe with me. And there's that email right there. Here you guys go. Here's the email up on the screen. You are perfectly safe with me. I may not be able to respond right away because I do have a son that is super busy. But I will get to you. I will not forget. And also, I am working with someone already that is in active addiction and in domestic violence. So if I get overwhelmed, will some of you ladies that are strong and have been through this, will you email me telling me you are willing to be a sponsor? Because I don't want to just leave these girls in the wayside. You know what I mean? If they are in active addiction or active domestic violence and they need support or they need somebody to talk to, who email me and tell me if you would be willing to take on one woman of each, a woman in addiction, a woman in domestic violence, or both. You know, just email me and let me know that you would be willing to help take some of this overflow, because I don't want the two women that I'm working with right now to get pushed to the back burner because I'm taking on too much than I can handle. So if you guys are willing to be a sponsor to a domestic violence victim or to someone that is in active addiction, please reach out to me and let me know that you are willing to help. The nail link, www, it is in my description box of all my other videos. Maybe I put the wrong one. Let's see. This is the nails. I have been putting it in the description, Leanda. I just forgot to put it in this one because it was a rushed live. But yes, it's in all of my descriptions of all my other videos, I promise. Survivor of DV, left 19 years ago. You go, girl. And that is exactly what I have been telling the ladies that I'm talking with. I am trying to get one to talk to her doctor about it, or to look for the helpmate number in the back of the bathroom. If you go to the doctor, normally in the women's restroom on the back of the door where the man can't see, they have the domestic violence number. Now, I think they should have that on the men's door too. There are men that are being abused by women, but they do have it in the women's bathroom at most doctors. And I'm trying to get her to reach out and get some help from Helpmate. And also, don't take on a sponsor and think that you can handle it all. You have to get professionals involved. If this girl is going to quit her addiction, she's going to need some kind of professional help to do so. So I am not taking this on by myself. I need sponsors that know that they can't do it alone, that they have to get professionals involved. Those are the type of people that I'm looking for to help with this. So Sarah, email me if you're willing to speak with other domestic violence victims and help them know that, you know, if you can do it, they can do it. Email me and let me know that you would be willing to talk to one of them. If not, don't worry. You just are welcome here. And I'm so glad that you're here and you were strong enough to get out. You are a survivor. Survivor. All right, you guys, much love, big hugs. I'm going to see you back tonight to talk about Nicole Kessinger's second phone interview, the second time she was on the phone with Kevin Kovac. And I will be responding to some of those emails right now. So you guys be looking for my responses. And thank you so much. I'm sending virtual hugs to you all. And I will see you tonight. I am not bashing any other creator whatsoever. No one I'm not better than any other creator at all. We are all on the same level. We are all trying to accomplish the same thing. So we should support each other and not tear each other down. So there is a strong possibility that AD is right about the shadows, but let's not forget there's a strong possibility that Chris was fed the information about the shadows, is all I'm saying. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Thank you for helping with that, Jean Page. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Charlie. Bye, Leanne Delane. Bye, Danica. Bye, my three rosebuds. Marion, Chronic Life KB. I'll see you all tonight. Thank you so much for all of your support. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Bye.